Hey, you can't like that movie. It is just as I planned. No one can like this movie now. This is a perfect metaphor.
What's up? My name is tsdtom and welcome back to the Perfect Film Criticism channel. Today, I kind of want to talk about something a little bit different. I feel like I've been saying that a lot recently. As you may or may not know, I do occasionally do film reviews on this channel, whether that be about movies that I really like or otherwise have strong feelings about. But I kind of want to change that. I really want to watch more movies and TV shows and play more video games and all that stuff outside of just the world of YouTube video essays and whatever is going on TikTok. And so to motivate myself to do that, I've decided to do a lot more movie reviews and stuff like that. For example, I'm probably going to review The Mitchells vs. the Machines when it comes out yesterday, because I like that movie. I'm probably going to do a video on Scrubs sometime in the future because that show is unironically a masterpiece. And I'm definitely going to review Hades one day if I ever finish the main storyline.
Why are we still here? Just to suffer?
Before I start doing film critique and thus ascend to a higher level of human being, I want to make this video to kind of air out my personal quirks and grievances. General Kenobi. I want to make this video to kind of air out my personal quirks and grievances when it comes to media criticism, particularly online media criticism. Because I've been in this space for as long as I've been on the internet, and I've got some thoughts. So, get ready and strap into me basically just ranting about things that I don't like about other reviewers. Hey, I needed a video this week. So the first thing I want to talk about is kind of small. The 10-star rating scale. An innocuous tool used by almost every reviewer in some way or another. There are a surprising number of expectations that come with it that I want to address. And by that I mean 2. Which isn't a lot, but it's weird that it happened twice, right? Dan Pipenmeyer, if you're seeing this, I'm so sorry. I've always found that people tend to look at the out of 10 rating scale and assume that anything under 7 out of 10 is bad. That doesn't make a lot of sense to me. Why would the average be towards the top of the system rather than in the middle? Why wouldn't 5 be average? I've always had the same problem with the American education system, but that's not a place I want to go today. Anyway, my point is when I grade things on the 10-star scale, I'm going to be grading things with 5 being the benchmark. The average, if you will. Average movie is 5, 1 is awful, 10 is masterpiece, yada 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 yada. You get the drift. The other thing I kind of want to talk about is how people hold this scoring system to like a golden standard. Yeah, it's a pretty good system and it's pretty versatile, but it's meant to simplify media critiques so that IGN can simplify every score into a 7 out of 10 that didn't have enough exaggerated swagger of a black teen. If one only takes the number into account, then they're missing a real discussion. I don't know, I just think a movie is more than a number, if that makes sense. And I guess all I ask is that people take other factors into account, like the rest of the review. Alright, moving on. So let's talk specifically about YouTube critique now. In my mind, there's 3 types of YouTube media critique. There's actual nuanced critique, there's unbridled rants and emotions, and then there's CinemaSins.
Movie somehow knows all 3 of my safe words. Also, narration. I would make fun of Carrot Days, except I spent time growing up in towns that had corn festivals, strawberry parades, and
especially when there isn't any imminent danger of the guy.
So she had that on her clothes.
That's suddenly changed the also movies about she said that, oh my god, tailbone.
Of course, these categories are not absolute. There's a lot of overlap between the 3. It's a spectrum. But CinemaSins and their work specifically have influenced film critique a lot over the last 10 years. And that's kind of a problem. What started out as short-form, jokey critique that was meant to kind of poke fun at some movies that you liked, has evolved into fun-hating, bitter dialogue that stretches out everything it can out of a single movie so that it can stretch that runtime 24 minutes, oh my god! Tearing down and vilifying every single good quality a movie has until all that's left are the unfunny jokes that the narrator makes.
50 goddamn seconds of Disney-related logo 41 seconds of logos. So why am I subjected to 58 seconds of 3 major studio logos?
We get it, Jeremy, you don't like logos! All of this is to say that this nitpicky and annoying comedy has fundamentally altered the landscape of media criticism online. Nitpicking, something once rarely used, even more rarely taken seriously, has now been used over and over as the basis for someone's entire critical argument. Does the movie have something meaningful to say? Who cares? A glass of water that was empty earlier is now full. Terrible movie, am I right? Which isn't to say you can't nitpick. When I'm watching a terrible movie, I like to make jokes about it with my friends and nitpick it as I watch. It's something that can be entertaining in the right circumstances. My point is that it shouldn't be a basis for genuine film criticism. It's more like the sprinkles on top of a sundae than anything. It makes the argument a little bit more sweet, sure, but when you just eat the sprinkles by themselves, then you just end up feeling sad and empty. The other pattern I've noticed a lot is that people tend to really cling to this idea of originality when they critique things. Cellspecs made a really great video about this topic, which I'll link down below, but basically it boils down to this notion of just ripping ideas off entirely. Now, it's true, there are some pretty horrendous and obvious examples of movies stealing ideas wholesale in order to get a few more monies to feed their families. But a lot of people really take this criticism and run with it in places they don't really need to. Anyone else remember when Inside Out came out a couple of years ago and people were saying that it was ripping off Herman's Head? Yeah, the animated Pixar movie that made millions of dollars and has immense critical acclaim, versus the sitcom from 1991 that no one watched and currently has a 17% on Rotten Tomatoes. Really a one-to-one comparison, isn't it? The point is, originality is dead. There are only 7 stories. Joseph Campbell predicted it all, and we're reading out of his hand. And TV tropes will somehow never run out of things to make it even more interesting and addicting than ever before. I swear, they laced that site with cocaine or something. Art doesn't exist in a vacuum. Humans are really predictable creatures, and every story is a mosaic of inspiration taken from every story that ever came before it. If a movie was completely and totally original, we wouldn't understand it because we'd have nothing to relate it to. So get off people's backs about it, okay? Anyways, that was a weird video. I wanted to slightly shift the focus of this channel going forward, and I feel like this is going to be the way to do it. The last 2 parts of Storyteller Retold are on their way, and after that there'll be a lot more to cover. I'll still be doing a lot of the stuff that I used to do on this channel before, but I'll just also be having a heavy sprinkle of, film critique and whatever in the mix. The Great American Melting Pot, if you will. And, I guess that's the end of today's video. I hope you enjoyed this video. I sincerely hope I made your day just that little bit better. Feel free to check out my socials here, or just look at the links that they have in the description below, including the Discord server, which is pretty fun. I think you should join. I think you should join the Discord server. Join the Discord server. Do it now. If you want to suggest other ideas for me to cover, or you just want to say hi, then feel free to leave a comment down below. I read all the comments for now, and I'll be sure to catch you there. Don't forget to like, share, and or subscribe. Only about 13% of the people who are watching this video are actually subscribed, so if you're one of the 86% who isn't subscribed, then feel free to do so with notifications on so you get notified for all my videos. Subscribing really helps the channel continue to grow and honestly just would mean a lot. And I guess I'll see you in the next video. Bye!